Damn, man. Hey, why you take me out? Damn, man. I was right, man. I was right. Shoot. Right. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is damn. That is that's bull. Damn. I love it. Look at that.
Happy Friday.
Guys, we've been talking for the last 5 minutes and nobody knew that we were here.
Just us. Good morning.
Happy
Good
Friday.
morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Let's try that again. We are live now. We'll do it live. We are live.
Doing
Happy
it live.
Friday and welcome to Top Step TV. Make sure you get your votes in there for the gold opening range trade. Gold is opening up in just a couple of seconds here. It looks like we are going to be taking that 5-minute opening range trade. Good morning, everybody. Hogue, JD, how we feeling this morning? We'll do it again.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Happy Friday. Happy Capital Preservation Friday. Not a lot of information coming out today. Traders and investors will be stuck inside their own heads. And as Jay, you mentioned, that can be a scary place. It certainly can be.
Yes, it can. Hogue. Yes, it can.
JD, Jay, it's a pleasure to be with you. JD, how are you feeling today?
Wonderful. Excellent. Happy Friday. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Hogue. Good morning, friends and traders in the chat. Welcome to Top Step TV. It is Friday, so happy Friday to everyone. Let's make some money, get out of here early, and enjoy our weekends. What do you say?
Absolutely. We do have gold open right now. The vote right now is for the 5-minute opening range trade, as it has been all week. So right now, decent opening range. Gold got pretty wild last night. We'll talk about it when we get into the charts. I did have a gold long. Happy I cut that long because gold then proceeded to sell off. But we will see what the day brings. Right now, pretty decent opening range here. About a 3.5 point opening range for the 1 minute so far, but we will be looking at a 5-minute opening range.
Yeah, 39 ticks so far.
Oh my
40.
God.
1 minute. 1 minute is triggered along in gold.
Wow.
1 minute chart is triggered along. Again, we'll be taking the 5. We pulled the chat. 61% of you voted for the 5-minute.
I picked it up.
You guys like that
We
5-minute,
That
huh?
5-minute.
We are open.
Love.
Weekly kickoff high 34.79 is the dead ass low of the day. 79.10 is the low for the regular trading hour session now. So we're opening right at the weekly kickoff high. Overnight inventory to the long side. No, to the short side. Kind of like the
Yeah,
long,
that,
but we'll see how this goes.
I don't mind the long here either, Hogue. But we will see what it brings us. That was a wild open last night, and I could see why you were just like, overnight inventory is long. Wait, no, it's short.
Yep.
It looked like we were going to make an all-time high last night in gold, and it quickly was sold off. But yeah, this should be a pretty interesting day. 1 minute
What
opening
was
range
that?
did trigger that long.
What
Yeah,
was that
I
all
don't
about?
know, Hogue. I don't know. Didn't really see a headline that coincided with that move, but uh, like Andre said, his
Crazy.
old boss used to say, "More buyers than sellers."
More buyers
Yep.
than sellers. There you go.
And we were kind of talking through yesterday's opening range trade in gold before we realized we weren't on air. But we took that long position. We covered a piece of it at 1.5 hour. We peeled off 2. We had 5 micros on. Took the long. Peeled off 2 at 1.5 hours. So we had a free trade on. But gold did do an about face, come back and burn right through our stop. We never adjusted our stop price down below. So it was a free trade, but it came and took us out. So we did trade
and then proceeded to rally afterwards.
Yes, and then proceeded to rally afterwards. Can't let everybody go for the ride. But again, it was a
3 minute
risk-free
just
trade
triggered
at that
along.
point for us. 3 minute triggered along. 1.5 more minutes for the 5 minute. 1 and 3 minute, both long. I'm gonna make my notes.
See, seeing some news, seeing some chat say that some of the news was about tariffs yesterday, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the news that we pay attention to now is about tariffs.
Mm.
See if we get a headline here.
Yeah, a lot of folks in chat talking about that.
Yep.
Nick's not wrong. I do want the action now.
President Trump announced tariffs on imports of gold of more than a certain size. I think it was 1 kilogram, but fact check. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, 1
Very
kilo, 2.2 pounds.
Good math there, Hogue.
They used to
I would
have
have had to ask you.
Yeah.
they used to have a kilo contract for gold at the Board of Trade. It didn't last too long. It was
Oh, really?
Okay.
yeah.
You got about 10
Nobody says,
seconds
how do
here,
you know that,
guys.
Hogue?
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's just pop
I
into
would
your
have had
head.
to ask
Kilo,
ChatGPT
2.2
that.
pounds. 5 seconds. I got my finger on the button to go in at the market. I got a high in the micros of 34.8550.
85.20 is the high in the
85.20.
GC.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we are in 34.8530. We are long. Let's count long. 5 micro gold. 34.8530.
Righty.
All right. We got the low of the opening range, 79 evens. Is that right? 79.1. I was going to ask where your CYA is, JD, but we don't need stops if we're going to win.
That's
let's just keep
Exactly.
rallying. Let's just keep rallying here.
Got a pretty wide opening range, so we're taking $400 worth of risk on this trade right now.
Okay. Yeah. 79 again, weekly kickoff high. If we can attract some buyers up here, we will see.
Got a CYA down at 34.7730. That is why we adjusted to micros, guys, just to trim some of the risk off on these wider opening range bars. The higher the time frame you look at, the more risk you are taking on. So you have to adjust size.
Negative delta on the highs here. I'm liking that.
Yeah, JD, to your point, the 5 minute opening range is about 2.5 points more than the 1 minute opening range, so it's a lot more risk on that trade. So scaling down makes sense here. Nice push.
We just
Nice
hit
push here so far.
0.5 hour, 0.5 hour on this trade.
Overnight view up right here, 91.30. About
If we get to 1 hour, I'm
91.40
gonna
overnight view up.
peel a little risk off at 1 hour, just to cheapen this up if we trade both sides of the opening range.
Got some couple of smaller iceberg orders up here at 34.90. Still showing negative delta here. 34.90 is the high, the point of volume point of control very early in the session. Volume is higher here. That's a good sign. Still showing some negative delta. A nice little iceberg there at 34.90. Buy iceberg. Still showing slight negative delta. This is good. This is good. We're getting pretty close to 1R on this, aren't we?
We sure are. We're getting real close. Working an offer to peel off 2 at 1R. Tighten up our risk and ride the rest.
Good trade here. Good trade. JD, while we manage this one, are there any numbers that we need to worry about? 7:30 numbers. Anything we need to worry about on the economic calendar today?
No 7:30 numbers this morning. We do have a talking Fed at about 9:20 a.m. Central Time. Alberto Musalem is coming on to speak. And then we have everybody's favorite Baker Hughes rig count. We always know it's the end of the week when the Baker Hughes numbers start coming out. That comes out at about 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And that's it for today. That will be it on the economic calendar front. Not a whole lot of news coming out today.
Overnight VWAP coming in at 34.9160. Overnight VWAP.
34.9160.
That's on the 30-minute chart.
We're just about there now. We're going to peel a couple off at 34.9330. That's 1R on this trade.
Okay.
We're almost there.
Yeah. We don't really have any earnings. It's typical on Fridays, unless you're long Bridgestone or Under Armour, which both of them missed expectations on earnings per share and revenues. Nothing major.
Nice push here in gold.
Real nice push.
93.30 you're working, JD?
Oh, I think it just hit our price and we didn't get filled. No, we missed it by a tick. Let's see if we get another pop. I might.
Those are live markets for you.
I might 10% this.
Why not? We're there.
Yeah, I think
Everything's a zone. Everything's a zone.
All right, we peeled a couple off at 34.9190. So we locked in about $130 in profit, and we're letting 3 ride.
All right. Nice work.
Peeled off our risk.
Trade there.
Worst case scenario, we will only lose if this market turns around and runs back through our stop. We're only risking about $100 on this trade now. So we peeled our risk from 300 to 400, and we are still long in gold. 400 to 100.
Gold. Do us a favor and just keep rallying here.
Yeah.
Like Hogue says, everyone get out and push, right? 3,500's right there. It'd be a nice trade.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Got a naked volume point of control up here at 35.0210.
0210.
5.0210.
This is.
Do we want to run that clip, or do we want to watch this trade? This is a pretty nice one we have on here. Again, the house takes the opening range trade in gold every morning. Took a 5-minute opening range today. Little expanded risk, but when it works out, it works out. We got a 2-to-1 on that trade.
Yep. We got a long trigger on all 3 time frames that we look at: 1 minute long, 3 minute long, 5 minute long. All of them valid. All of them still valid.
Does that make this a more powerful move when all 3 of them would have triggered the long?
That's a good question. I'd like
nice
to
pop
say
there.
yes.
Feels like it to me. I mean, this thing's we got it going on like Donkey Kong here, man.
Right? Just ripping. Feel bad about peeling a couple off, though.
Hey.
All right.
Don't feel bad. You got to feed the rally.
Don't feel bad.
Now
feed the rally. All right. We were talking about tariffs a few minutes ago. We had overnight. We had Gene Soroka, the executive director of the Port of Los Angeles, coming on to clarify who's actually paying for the tariffs as products are entering the country. Eventually, those tariffs do trickle down to the consumer, but in order for goods and services to enter the country, tariffs must be paid at the port of entry. Let's run that news clip real quick and get some clarification on when tariffs are paid, who collects them, and where do they go.
Good evening, Aaron. No, they're not. Importers of record here in the United States pay those tariffs. So let me lay it out. $1,000 worth of goods that are purchased from China with an effective tariff rate of 55% come into the port of Los Angeles. Before that importer can pick up that one container, she must pay $550 in tariffs to U.S. Customs. That container is then released, that $1,000 worth of merchandise. The $550 goes to the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Thus far, since the most sweeping tariffs we've seen in 100 years were announced back in April, the Treasury has about $96 billion in tariffs that it's collected from U.S. importers over the last 4 months, a threefold increase compared to the same time last year. It is being paid by the American importer, so your big box retailer, home improvement store, the corner drugstore that imports from overseas, located on my street or Main Street, pays those tariffs. Yeah, it is possible unless imports take a nosedive, like they just may after the month of August. What we've seen, Aaron, is leading up to this latest deadline, which has been moved several times. We saw an all-time record for cargo in the month of June at the Port of Los Angeles, and July will be our best month in the 117-year history. August looks pretty good too, but thereafter I think we've built up so much inventory and tried to get in under the wire of these new and higher tariffs, imports will drop. That $50 billion number is not really out of reach right now, just depending on the volume of imports, but all of it will be paid by importers and American companies.
It is widely assumed that those tariffs that importers are paying at the ports to collect their goods will eventually trickle down to consumers. We're starting to see it just a little bit right now. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about it?
Yeah.
Are we going to start paying more, even more?
Somebody's got to pay for
think-
it. It's going to be
Yeah,
consumers.
I think it was understood that it was paid at when they're picking up their goods, but if that cost is now passed down to the consumer, then ultimately the consumer is paying that price, right? So I think it's looking at the increase in cost of goods to a consumer, and you can see really where that where it stops, because I don't know that it was a surprise that anyone is paying those tariffs at the port, but we will see. We got a nice gold trade in here. Gold trading 3,500 now. House count long from 85.8. Is that right, JD? 85.80.
We are long
85,
from
30.
34.85.30. 34.85.30.
Better.
Just printed
Even better.
3,500.
Nice trade here. Took 2 off, locked some in.
Okay,
Let's just go make all-time highs.
Stephen Buck's saying to
35.02.
peel another one off here. Do we trim a little
Mind
rest
that.
of it?
This is a visual target. This volume point of control goes all the way back to the 22nd of July, and it's really the only weakness in structure above the market. Above the market, it's just the all-time high. I don't see why taking one off here would be a bad idea. Are we
Yeah, we got a
lineating
2
it?
to 1 there.
Are we lineating it? Let's see. We are stalling out here just a little bit.
That's that visual target, naked volume point of control. 35.
No, I do
I'm marking
JD.
I took one more off. I took one more off.
All
All
right,
right.
okay.
We locked in $300 worth of profit. We got unrealized 360. We're letting 2 ride.
Nice.
All right. Beautiful. Love when a plan comes together.
Great trade.
There we go. We're not touching it
All time
anymore.
frames. Auto liquidator, do your job.
Do your job, auto liquidator. All right.
Speaking of gold, before we get into these charts, JD, we had some news in gold as well. Gold
Yeah, we
prices
already started
overnight.
talking about it. Import tariffs on gold bars. We were saying 1 kilogram gold bars with import tariffs. This coming from investing.com. The U.S. has slapped import tariffs on 1 kilo gold bars, move that could disrupt global bullion trade and hurt Switzerland. That's according to the Financial Times. U.S. Customs Border Protection Agency said 1 kilo and 100 ounce gold bars should be classified under a customs code that could open it up to duties The CBP decision largely contrasts earlier expectations that the import of gold bars would be exempt from sweeping tariffs. But apparently they are not. Tariffs also held pressure on Switzerland, which is already facing a 39% duty on exports to the United States. So double dipping on Switzerland. Increasing gold bar tariffs while also imposing a 39% duty on all imports or exports from Switzerland. So Switzerland looks like it's about to take a hit.
Hmm.
But,
So I was mentioning that the Board of Trade had a kilo gold contract right around the mid to late 80s. I've got a watercolor of the trading floor that my dad is actually in, and in the background, the Board of Trade and the Mercantile Exchange were always kind of advertising new contracts, and that you can see the 1 kilo contract. Maybe I'll get a picture of it and we'll share it later on. But yeah, they did. They had a 1 kilo contract at the Board of Trade. They had a big pile of gold bars as you walked into the trading floor, of course under lock and key with an armed guard around it. But my dad was always like, he was like, there's something about gold. I don't think he'd ever seen that much gold. Most people never have, but he was like, man, it is beautiful. Like, well, don't try and steal it because that guy with the gun over there is going to get you.
Right. He has one job. The guy has one job: protect the gold. Uh, Hogue, let's talk about gold. Let's talk about gold prices overnight. What are we seeing in these charts? Where is this trade going? We got a good one on, but what are you seeing in gold, Hogue?
All right. Usually on Mondays and Fridays, I usually start with the weekly, and the week before we tested below the kind of the low of the area of balance. Market has rotated. Now we're at the upper end of the area of balance. We are finally seeing some participation now above that weekly kickoff high, 34.79. How long has that been the weekly kickoff high? 34.79. Since the rollover for the last 3 weeks, that has been the weekly kickoff high. So taking a look at the daily chart now. Okay, markets, the market has been in a range. It has been narrowing. Of course, you got the Dorito here. You got that pennant formation here, and we are attempting to break out above it. Now, yesterday, we closed above that weekly kickoff high for the first time in about 3 weeks. We added 15,000 contracts in open interest. Now, not just that, since we've been on this rally to the upside, we've been adding open interest 5 straight days now, totaling about 38,000. 38,000. Okay, so that brings into question, Jay and JD, are we getting too long in short time frame, or have we attracted new buyers? It's going to take new buyers for this to continue to push to the upside. Yes, it looks real good right now. We don't know where it's going to be at the end of the day. So this is another attempt at a breakout of a long time frame balance, medium time frame, really. I mean, we're going back into April and May for these extremes. It has been rotating, it has been narrowing. Is this the breakout we've been looking for? Jay, what do you think about this daily chart? Very interesting look, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Hogue. So we've been talking about that narrowing Dorito. Yesterday was some pretty good volume in gold to the upside, like you said, 38,000 in open interest. Maybe we're attracting some buyers. From a technical perspective, we broke that, and we were making lower highs on the daily the entire time. Last night we finally made a higher high, kind of breaking that pattern. Fundamentally, Hogue, if we're hearing tariffs and gold, I'm just, I don't know if we get the same, insane move that we saw in copper, but that's in the back of my mind, right? We heard that 50% tariff on copper and we saw that, 20% day. Is it possible to get a move like that in gold is what I'm thinking now. Last night kind of showed signs of that. Maybe not as dramatic, but yeah, that's in the back of my mind. I don't trade too much on fundamental analysis, but just thinking about that. If we're starting to hear tariffs, the T word can do a lot to these markets. But this looks pretty bullish. I've been looking for opportunities to buy gold, and this looks pretty good here.
Yeah, so The fact that we opened right at the weekly kickoff high, one tick above it, and have left that opening range in the 1, 3, and 5 minute at the dead ass low. I'm impressed by this move so far. The volume on the 30-minute charts. Of course, it's going to spike a little bit because now it's regular trading hours, but we are, not even we're about halfway through this 30-minute bar, this continuation move, and we are seeing some pretty good volume coming in here. We still are showing negative delta, which indicates more aggressive sellers, but price moving higher indicates possible longer time frames, stronger buyers. This is just the very beginning of the day. That can change drastically. So what we're looking at, and if we go back a little bit further, this supply zone up here is going to be a little bit tough for us to get through. We've already traded to and through the volume point of control. There's no TPO point of control in that profile. It was already rechecked in a following day. So the volume profile point of control is the only thing we've got to kind of lean on up there. And then there's really no weaknesses in structure until we start looking around all-time high. That opened last night. It was a shock, of course. It seems like somebody probably knew about it before we were going to open last night because the market started rallying. I wasn't really paying attention at this time, but the market started rallying prior to the extended trading hour close. Settlement is all the way down here at 34.53.70. And then the market, the end of the day closes all the way up here at 34.83. All right. Well, this is where the market is marked to for margins. Is that settlement price 34.53.70? Overnight inventory, we were kind of looking a little bit short. How do you look at this and say the overnight inventory is a little bit short? Well, because the market opened here and we were kind of looking at the market a little lower than that. So that would be kind of my assumption that overnight inventory was maybe a little bit short, not terribly, just maybe a little bit short. And obviously we're already seeing buyers coming into this market. We've got to be able to take out these highs. These highs back here in a little bit longer time frame from back in the 22nd of July. What I've got written down here in my little notes is we need new buyers to come into this market for continuation. If these buyers do not come in with the open interest that we've added over the last five sessions, if those are shorter time frame longs and they don't continue to get paid, they could freak out and push this market a little bit lower. There are weaknesses in structure down below. We have naked points, TPO points of control, 34, 33, 30, 33, 33, 95, 20. There's, the unemployment bar that we haven't even really looked back to. And, the weaknesses in structure are below. So if the buyers do not come for this market today, on a Friday with probably some considerable profits in shorter time frame, we may see this market turn around and pull back into the range from yesterday or even points lower than that. But as long as we hold that weekly kickoff high, 34.79, the low of the opening range today, I'm going to be trying to stay long, which we already are in the house account. Already got some profits in that one. We're just going to let this play. I'm looking for new buyers, new business, new information to push this market higher. It's going to take that. Jay, what are your thoughts?
I agree with you, Hogue. 3504, which is kind of where we rejected. There was a large spike in volume from 3504 up to 3518 yesterday. So that's the range that I have marked out on my charts. Dan Emmons just pointed out in the chat as well. If you scroll up in the DOM in gold, you can see there are a bunch of prices that did not trade at all yesterday or
Yes.
last night. Gold skipped a bunch of prices, so it did look like a squeeze. Which if it's a squeeze where it's shorts getting out, like you said, Hogue, are we actually attracting new buyers, or were those buyers that were maybe unwilling to buy but they had to? Right? If I'm short and I have to close the position because the market's rallying, I may be getting out, but I don't necessarily need the market to continue going higher at that point. So new buyers is what we're looking for here, Hogue. I 100% agree with you. If we started to accept above 35.04 with some buying, I'm looking for VWAP to get above that price. Then 35.18 would be my target to the upside. But the question is, do we have those new buyers here?
Yeah, you can see on the dome here, no trades at these prices. Very
Yeah.
thin, very whippy, very dangerous. We used to call those in the trading pit vacuums when price
Yep.
would move through a bunch of prices and not trade. Those were always vacuums. So we're already seeing some, pretty substantial pushback off of these highs and off of those highs from way back here. So a little supply zone up here. It's going to be tough to get through that. We
100%.
are still sitting, nicely in profit. We're not going to Lenny this. We're just going to let this thing play out. The profile yesterday, normal variation day, nice excess low on that yesterday, and then we saw the market just kind of take off before the close. You could, by all rights, kind of call that a late spike to the upside with the initial balance high yesterday of 34.65, the base of that late spike. We've opened
Ooh, big
in
selling just came
and
in
we're
there.
trading above. Yeah, so nice selling coming in there, huh? What do you guys think of this? I mean, we're up against some supply. We tested to that naked point of control. I mean, that was a visual target. We're
That's
coming back pretty
There
strong
goes
here.
gold. There goes gold now.
Yep. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is some big selling here. Gold down 10 points, 15 points in a couple seconds here. Really
Right
nice
back to
rejection
where our
there.
entry. I
Right
mean, by
back on
all
top of
rights,
our entry price.
by all rights, the trade is still valid.
Oh yeah. We did take out. No, we have not taken out the low of the opening range. 5-minute.
No.
That was some heavy selling pressure that just came in.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that
was.
was. That was definitely some. I mean, we're looking at Delta now, negative 750, negative 750. So that was all just market orders hitting the bids, market orders hitting the bids. Let's see
Yep.
if the buyers are still present here.
We still have our
I don't think
CYA
we're.
down at 34.7730. Haven't adjusted that yet.
I don't think we're in danger until we get below the weekly kickoff high 34.79.
Okay.
All right.
That was some pretty substantial selling coming in.
Yeah,
So
I
now we're
think
going
with
to
that,
find out. So now we're going to find out, where the men are here. If these buyers are going to be, if the buyers are going to stay here, they're going to absorb all of this selling. This is responsive selling. It's initiative buying up here. Initiative buying is for more than a reason that it just looks too expensive. It's either, shorts getting squeezed, but with the open interest that we've added over the past 5 days, shorts have been getting squeezed all week.
there's a lot of movement. I think today's, we said it was pretty quiet on the economic calendar, but I think today is going to be a pretty interesting day. With the T word, especially in gold, for sure. Do we want to get to the equities? I know we got crude oil opening up in about 9 minutes or so. Chat, do remember
Yep.
we are going to do a poll for crude oil. The crude oil open as well. Crude oil opens up at 8 a.m. Central Time. So when we put that poll up, make sure you get your votes in. Are we taking a 1, 3, or 5 minute opening range? But JD, we got some news on the equity indexes. What do we got?
We sure do. Speaking of that crude oil poll, Dolby time in the chat. Go ahead and throw that up now. We'll give it a few minutes to marinate before crude oil opens. We had stocks edging higher a little bit overnight. We saw President Trump nominate a new Federal Reserve Board governor, Stephen Mirren. He'll be joining the crew. More selling coming in gold. And then we had those tariff headlines coming out overnight. So Dow was up about 0.3%, S&P up about 0.4%, and the NASDAQ up about 0.4% also. Overnight, markets in Asia closed a little mixed, I should say. Shanghai Composite down 0.12%. Nikkei closed up 1.85%, and the Hang Seng Index closed down 0.89%. Stocks in Europe overnight trading a little mixed this morning also. FTSE down 0.1%, the DAX down 0.08%, and the CAC up 0.09%. US dollar index down 0.1%, 98.30 last on the US dollar index. The VIX down 1.5% to 1631, and the yield on the 10-year Treasury note up 0.02% to 4.265. I see the crude oil poll is up in the chat right now, so go ahead and put your vote in. We're going to take that crude oil opening trade in just a couple of minutes. Get in there and vote. All right, guys, back to the charts.
Yeah, let's take a look at the S&Ps real quick. This is the weekly chart. So we've got an inside day inside last week, indicating, basically a little short time frame balance here. Taking a look at the daily, we've been attempting to break out of this 4-day kind of balance here. Yesterday, we did take a pretty good look at the upside on that, and it added 11,000 in open interest on a little bit higher volume. I think this market is attempting to continue to this push to the upside. Can't really place a grade on the auction at this time because it's a two-sided auction, more of a balance right now than anything else. A lot of indecision in this daily bar yesterday. It's Jay, you've been saying for weeks that it just seems to be trying to creep up on all-time highs here without it noticing, and it certainly seems to be struggling to do so. The high yesterday, relatively close to that 64.30 weekly kickoff high. We did see, some sellers coming in off of that yesterday. It was from where we opened, it was pretty much a down day in regular trading hours. Weekly kickoff high resistant. That's what we're looking for, is for some decisions to be made in longer time frames in that. Jay, anything that you find remarkable in this daily chart?
Yesterday, Hogue, we were talking about the candle that made the all-time high, the daily candle that made the all-time high, and 64.12 being 50% of that candle.
Mhm.
We were talking about if volume doesn't trade above that price, even if price does, it's not that much of a convincing move, right? Same thing here. We have 6,400 now, which is that major psych level right above us. We may trade there price-wise, but if we don't see volume trading, we're not attracting the buyers that we think we are in these markets. We saw yesterday, during fast markets, we were all trying to buy it. We might have been the only ones, right, where these market still looks heavy for some reason, or reluctant. I'll say it's holding
Yeah.
up, but
Mhm.
maybe we do need a bigger pullback to attract those buyers that we're looking for to make all-time highs. We're kind of sitting in the middle of yesterday's range, so I think being patient will be the right call, at least early on, unless we see some volume coming in. But yeah, I'm patient right now, Hogue, because the market really doesn't look like it knows where it wants to go, or
Right.
it's telling us that it's comfortable sitting at these prices right now.
It's chilling. All
Yep.
right, let's take a look at the 30-minute, and then we'll get to crude oil as quickly as we can here. So, yeah, this weekly kickoff high, naked point of control, was almost checked in the overnight session. We did have a shooting star reversal pattern up here. We were all kind of looking for the market to kind of get back up and retest these levels up here. And we just headed in the opposite direction. Overnight inventory was long. That probably started the break. And then we just continued to kind of work our way through value and the range from the previous session. As far as today is concerned, we're inside the range from yesterday, pretty much right in the middle of it, bordering the high of value as far as overnight inventory is concerned. We don't really have much of anything to talk about as far as overnight inventory is concerned. Jay, I'm with you. I think it's going to be one of those days where we just be patient, wait for the opportunity to come to us. If we go looking for it, we're going to find it. Maybe good, maybe bad, but wait for the market to come and tell you, "Hey, this is your spot. Let's do this." Jay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that one, Hogue. These markets have been presenting a ton of opportunity, but sometimes those opportunities require patience, and that seems like today. Now, you say it all the time. The market loves to make a liar out of me, and we might see
Mhm.
great opportunity the first 5 minutes in, but I'm gonna sit on my hands, be patient a little bit, and especially it's Friday. Had a decent week, so I don't want to ruin the week by chasing an opportunity that might not be there. So I'll be patient today for sure.
Awesome. JD, news. What you got?
In the world of crude oil, what's at stake for oil prices ahead of Trump's Friday deadline for Russia-Ukraine ceasefire? That's right, guys. Today is the deadline. Trump has laid down the gauntlet. We'll see who responds to it. Here's a quote from Robert Yager, a specialist, crude oil commodity specialist at Mizuho Securities. This came from a note that he put out yesterday. It's not certain whether President Trump will hit Russia with new sanctions on Friday as scheduled, assuming no deal gets done in the next few hours, or if Trump will punish the Russians with maximum penalties, but give them a deal that allows 3 weeks of wiggle room. This is all about importing, exporting oil. He's going to hit them with sanctions, oil sanctions, if they don't come to a ceasefire agreement by today. So we got to keep an eye on the headlines for this one. It could create some real volatility in the crude oil market and the broader markets in general. We are 2 minutes away from the opening bell in crude. Let me pull it up.
5 minute wins again.
5 minute wins again.
JD,
268 votes. Go ahead.
I'm a fan of Lennying this gold trade.
What do you want to do, Hogue?
Pitch it.
Ditch it? Get out?
Get out of one. We'll see what happens with the other one.
Hang on a second. Let me pull it back up. It's coming for us. All right. I dump one more.
Okay. So we're profitable no matter what now, right?
Yeah, we locked in minimum. Even if it comes and runs out our stop, we're still up $200 on this trade.
Okay. All right. I'll take the Lenny on that one. That one's on me.
Okay. That's all right. We managed it pretty well on the way up.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm happy with the way we scaled out of that one. Wasn't really expecting it to rip right back in our faces like that, but
no.
That's the benefit of trading multiple contracts, you know?
I mean, the tempo was good. It's almost like something came out about it, but the tempo was good on the way up. It did get to our visual target and into a supply zone up there. So maybe we shouldn't be that surprised, but at least we know where we're at. Even if it hits our stop, we're still profitable. Done. Not looking good right now. It's the thing.
Capital Preservation Friday. Listen to the market when it's talking to you, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
51%
say we're taking the 5 minute opening range trade in crude oil too. So I've got crude oil micros queued up. What are you guys seeing in the charts?
All right. Weekly balance. Testing to the weekly kickoff low, 63.70. 63.70, 63.70. That has been the weekly kickoff low for 3 weeks since the last rollover. Are we going to break it today? Who knows? Let's take a look at the daily quick. So we are right back down and testing that weekly kickoff low, 63.70. Yesterday, we added approximately 2,600 in new open interest to the downside. We've had 2 days now of continual downside open interest, adding at lower pricing, new selling coming in. We are at an inflection level where if this is short time frame selling and they don't continue to get paid, they may start a new rotation back the other direction. That's what rotational markets do. So we're using balance to breakout rules today. If we break out to the downside and we see some momentum, some participation, some tempo, whatever it is that you're looking at to see continuation, if we break out and we see that, we go with the breakout. If we fail this breakout and we don't see continuation to the downside, we come back in. Then we begin a new rotation back to the upside in the kind of shorter time frame balance that we are currently in. Jay, what do you think?
Balance is the word in crude oil, Hogue, but it has been presenting some great opportunities over the past couple of days. I think I mentioned yesterday that it has been in the top 3 percentage movers, either to the upside or the downside in the past 2 weeks, which is great to see, especially how much trash we were talking about this market a month ago. But where we are sitting here, we do have that 200 moving average on the daily at 64.25. I know your weekly kickoff level is right below that as well. Fundamentally, we're hearing some bearish news here potentially in crude oil. Technically, we're at a spot that I would be expecting some buyers to step in, just because they've done it so far over the past 45 days or so, right around these 200 moving average. So We'll see what crude oil brings. I haven't traded it much, even though it has been moving. High to low yesterday, we had a 2% move in crude, so there is some opportunity there. I just haven't been trading it much, but it's moving.
Well, yeah,
It is moving.
markets tend to sneak up on you when they're going to actually trade nicer, right? You
Right.
gotta notice for a while, right?
Especially crude.
Okay.
I think a good sign
Yeah.
was some of the news that we were hearing, just with Russia, Ukraine, and some of the India buying oil from Russia. Paying attention to those headlines may have given us a clue that crude was going to be a
Mhm.
decent trade.
So the 30-minute, we are looking at maybe a little bit of overnight inventory to the long side. We got too short below weekly kickoff low down here, swiftly rejected. I kind of like the long side here because we had what I would call in the overnight session a failed breakout. We've got a hammer reversal pattern here on the 30-minute chart. That is a V bottom if I've ever seen one. So as long as we hold above that weekly kickoff low 63.70, I'd be looking to buy pullbacks. But as far as where we're opening, we're in range and in value. Typically, that's going to say to me that there's very little change in the perception of value, and we may find better trade locations as the day goes on. One of the things we've been talking about and watching over the past week or so is that this move to the downside has largely been controlled in short time frame. Short time frame traders have moved price to visual targets. 1, 2, these are all naked points of control, folks. 3, 4, another naked point of control to the upside. 5 in the overnight, and then 5 at the end of the day last night when we finally got out of our last shorts. Right there, okay, that nice little TPO point of control, 63.72, 70s weekly kickoff low. Uh, uh, So yes, it is still largely in short time frame control. I'm looking for longer time frames to get involved anywhere near this weekly kickoff low. Jay, what are your thoughts?
That weekly kickoff low hook 63.72.
70, yeah. 72 was the naked point of control. 70 was
Naked
weekly
point of control.
kickoff low. It's
Got
all
you.
a zone.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be looking for buyers to step in here as well. We are on the 30-minute, we are under that 200 moving average, which is all the way up at 65.21. But we haven't tested it in a little while. On the 30, the 20 does look like it's getting ready to cross over the 50 moving average. So maybe that does mean we're finding some buyers down here. Um, yeah, I think I'll watch. For me, I think what I'll pay attention to is if we get any random spikes in volatility in crude oil, probably at the expense of some, headline or something coming out, that might give us an opportunity. I don't see, great trade opportunities for my style of trading here in crude. We do have that 5-minute opening range getting ready to close here. The 1 minute did trigger a short. 5-minute is now closed. Uh, what do we have at the
I'm
low
working
here?
our stops to enter the market. Looking at the micros, guys, I've got a low of 64.02 and a high of 64.18. Does that line up with the minis also?
Yep.
I
Yes, it
concur.
does.
Yep.
So we're working our stops to enter above and below. Stop to enter above 64.19, stop below 64.01. And just like Jay said, the 1 minute did trigger a short. Nothing on the 3 minute yet. We're smack dab in the middle of the range right now. Smack dab.
Smack dab.
All right, I will continue to monitor this for movement. Let's move on, though.
Oh,
We got another headline out before we get into the NASDAQ. Tesla is disbanding its dojo team. Dojo, we just got in 64 even, short 5 micro crude, 64 even.
did we get stopped out of gold?
Not yet.
Right.
We're going to take $150 worth of risk on this crude trade. Got our CYA up at 64.30. So 30 ticks of risk, $150 total trade in micros.
Okay. Well, that
All
was a
right.
very well placed stop in gold there, man.
Right? Let's go see. What was the low on the micro? I think I missed this by a tick. Low of 34.77.50. Our stop was 34.77.30. We ripped right off of it.
Funny. GC, the low is 34.77.80.
Huh. It tried to grab
Very
us.
well placed
It came
stop.
for us. Weekly kickoff high in gold, 34.79. So dip below there, grab some liquidity, and popped right back up.
Mhm.
Almost back to our entry
Mhm.
pricing gold right now.
Yeah.
And
it
all right,
was-
back to that Tesla news real quick, and we'll get into NASDAQ. Tesla disbanding its dojo team and its leader, Peter Bannon, who was heading up the dojo team. He will leave the company, according to people familiar with the matter. Quote from Bloomberg, this is upending the automaker's effort to build an in-house supercomputer for developing driverless vehicle technology. Bloomberg goes on to say Tesla plans to increase its reliance on external technology partners, including NVIDIA and Advanced Micro Devices, Inc. for compute and Samsung Electronics for chip manufacturing. That's what the people said. So they got rid of their in-house chip production team, and they're moving on to sourcing outside of Tesla.
Why build it if you can buy it?
Right?
I guess so,
You know,
right?
it's a lot of a big investment, right? Especially if you're going to be, you're talking about competing with Nvidia and some of the AI specific companies out there that are just way ahead. It's probably a better investment to just partner with someone at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting there.
That's what's
Crude
happening.
looking decent.
Yeah, we got a couple tickies in the crude. Gold's still coming back just a little bit. We held the crude trade into the auto liquidator yesterday. I know we just talked about that, but we shorted it off the 5-minute opening range, and we held it until 3:08 p.m. Central Time when the auto liquidator took us out of that trade, right on the lows. Right on the lows of the day.
Which was basically weekly kickoff low.
Down to
All right,
that
guys, let's
VWAP,
get
that overnight
into
VWAP in crude at 95.
63.95.
Yep.
We got settlement price 63.88. We're on top of that right now.
Looking good. Looking good.
I'm liking it so far. All right, guys, we're getting a little long in the tooth here. What's going on in NASDAQ?
Are you saying I'm old, JD?
No. We're just rambling, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we
Let's
are.
get into
Well,
NASDAQ.
Let's go.
There's been interesting things going on in gold and in the crude, so we need to discuss those things. All right, Nasdaq, inside week, I should say. Really trying to see if we can find some sort of continuation above that weekly kickoff high, 23,572. Struggling to do so. 572 settled it last night at 23,496 and a quarter. The daily chart. Here's what we're looking at. So yeah, we the market is, I think, doing a little bit better job of breaking out of this short time frame balance that we had here. Struggling again at weekly kickoff high, 23,572. Pretty much the high from overnight. It looks like 583.72, 10 points through it. Everything is a zone. We lost 1,500 in open interest yesterday, where we added open interest in the S&Ps on a less successful upside day than the Nasdaq. So starting to squeeze a little bit of shorts up here, perhaps. Still looking for the adults to come into the room, and weekly kickoff high might be an interesting place for them to do so. Jay, what do you find remarkable about the daily here in the Nasdaq?
23,567, which is right around 50% of the candle that made that all-time high. Same thing as we were looking for yesterday, Hogue, looking for not just price, but volume to trade above there. If we can, then I see rotation, maybe not all the way up back up to all-time highs today, but maybe back up to the 700s above yesterday's high, but 23,567. It's up near the high of the overnight range. And we need to attract some new buyers. And hearing that we're losing open interest on an up day yesterday is not very convincing for that case. So we'll see what today brings. But Yeah, 23,567. I'm looking for some volume to trade above that price.
All right, let's take a look at this on the 30 now. I've got that box up there for that range at 567. Yep, there it is. There's that halfway mark. We looked above it yesterday, failed to hold above it, fell back down. Overnight inventory. Do we really see anything in overnight inventory? No, nothing really to speak of. And market opened here. It's trading there. No real overnight inventory, inside range, inside value. Try and stay patient today, folks. We do have that important inflection level, that weekly kickoff high in play here. It has been showing a little bit of resistance for us so far today. But with the market opening in range and in value, I still firmly believe that is going to make the that's going to make the better trade locations more probable as the day goes on. Try and stay patient, folks. Remember, it is a Capital Preservation Friday. No reason to get all biffed up today. Jay, what do you think on this 30-minute chart?
On the 30-minute Hogue, we have the 20 and the 50 kind of wrapped around each other a little bit here. I'm looking at VWAP from yesterday. We are kind of hanging out right under that area, right? That 560 area we were talking about. After yesterday's sell-off, we did see a pretty nice rally into the close.
Anchored from the open?
Yeah, from the open yesterday. After
Okay.
yesterday's sell-off, we did see a pretty nice rally into the close, which does, have me a little bit bullish going into this morning. But I was bullish yesterday as well, and I was completely wrong about the market. So I'm going to make sure I take my bias and put it to the side and read what the market wants to do and not what I wanted to do. So being patient and reading and reacting instead of trying to predict, because ultimately the markets are going to trade where they want to trade, Hogue.
Good call. Patience.
Yep.
Patience. All right. Well, there we are. What are we doing here? Where's gold now?
We bounced. Pretty nice bounce there.
Bounced.
We're back above our entry.
Nice. Very nice. All right, good job. We got a negative delta of about 700. We swept the lows, knocked out all those weak shorts below the opening range, and we're seeing buyers coming back in. Maybe the men in the room are buyers here today. Good thing we're still long that one lot.
Yeah, nice trade here. I was gonna, JD, you were asking yesterday after we peeled the two, when we got back down close to our stop, do we add them back on again? Yesterday, I don't know if it would have worked, but today it looks like it's working so far. But we're still in it. We are still in it.
Yeah. We need one of them, but we're still in the other one. So do I get a break on that? Do I get a partial Lenny on that one?
Don't worry about it, Hogue.
Only if we hit
I'm the
all-time
house
highs.
account manager. Ultimately, it falls to me.
So a Lenny light, maybe.
It's a half a Lenny.
Half a Lenny. All right, that'll just be a Len.
JD, we got some more news. Some AI news. Feels like we got AI news all the time. It's taking over the world.
One last piece of news coming from ChatGPT 5, or coming from ChatGPT. OpenAI has announced the release of ChatGPT 5. Let's roll that beautiful AI footage, if you please. On Thursday, tech giant OpenAI launched GPT-5, an updated version of the AI model behind ChatGPT. The company says the update is better at coding, writing, and answering medical questions. It also promises fewer instances of hallucination, which are a deception of users when it doesn't know how to respond to a question. OpenAI CEO says if GPT-4 was like talking to a college student, this new version will be like talking to an expert with a PhD. How about that? Some critics do have concerns about AI and its potential to provide wrong information to users, but OpenAI says they are working diligently to solve that, and ChatGPT 5 should be much more consistent than ChatGPT 4.
And it hallucinates, did you say?
It's that's what I guess that's what they call it when you prompt a question and it doesn't know the answer, it'll just try and kind of fake you out, you know?
So Chat GTP is a fan of the Grateful Dead.
Probably. You can't say it's lying to you, but you can't believe everything it's telling you. That's what they're saying.
Agreed.
I
It is
hope.
getting better though. I do use it every once in a while. Like I was telling you guys in the green room, I saw a YouTube video. This guy asked ChatGPT 5 to code a Tetris game, and it coded a pretty playable Tetris game in about 30 seconds. So it is getting a lot smarter. I think it depends on what you ask it and how you use it. But AI, the AI revolution is here. It is here. Be nice to the bots. Hogue, what are
You
we
know what
pulling up
else?
here? You got
You know what else is here?
the checklist.
The trading checklist.
The
Gonna nag you
checklist.
guys. Nagging you guys. Pre-market research. Well, we just did that, looking at these markets for context, good risk management, and remaining patience. Gold, we're already in. We're already in crude oil. Are they trending? What about volume and open interest? Always thinking about those. Make sure you put your levels of reference, inflection points, whatever you want to call them. Write them down, put them on your charts. Once you've got your pre-market research done, you can check off pre-market research. What about the rest of the routine? What about the rest of the routine? Hey, there we go. Well, this was checking, but not right now. What about the rest of the routine? Trading plan, internet connection. What about the strategy review? What about journal review? Maybe Monday we'll talk a little bit more about the emotional journal than the trading checklist. I found that to be very helpful. Prep the work site, trade entry checklist, confidence, price, stop price, reward over risk ratio. You can do that for each trade. You're an active trader, it might be a little tough, but you try and get down as much information as you can. What about the post-market checklist? Reviewing the trades, updating the trading journal, getting plenty of rest, and of course the psychological resources. Yes, we don't want to overtrade. A lot of folks probably have these on sticky notes stuck to their screens. Don't overtrade. Don't trade out of FOMO. Don't trade impulsively. Don't trade angry. Just to get you set for the day. We've gone through the checklist, and we're going to have a good trading day today. I got a good feeling about today's trading for all of you.
Good stuff. Today is going to be a good day. JD, who do we have on the schedule for today? Who's trading it up with us in fast markets for the rest of the day?
Oh, we got a good one today, folks. Coming up next in fast markets, we've got the Salt Lake City Sniper. Miss Mandy is joining us. She'll be joined by Dan S. and a couple the usual cast of characters, Jack, Hogue, and Dolby. For the Thunderdome, 11 a.m., the final day of this contest between Alfie and Chad N. Make sure you're there to see who wins. Coach Jay will be proctoring that challenge also. 12 o'clock Central Time, Hogue will be here for the opening morning recap. 12:15, Lunchbox Trading. We're going to give you an update on the Combine Counter Challenge between Dakota and Barron. Hogue and I will be in there talking to those two. 1 o'clock, Jack is back for Top Quiz. Jack and Brooke. Then we've got Back to the Futures with Jack, Sagan, and Dolby time. Closing out the week in Power Hour with another reversal challenge. Who's going to be in that, you ask? Jack will be hosting it, but we've got Doom, Braden C, Dolby, and Mandy will be back this afternoon for the reversal challenge going into the end of the week. Make sure you're sticking around, folks. Lots of tradertainment heading your way on this beautiful Capital Preservation Friday.
Sounds like a fun schedule.
Yeah.
Mandy in the reversal challenge. She's a shooter, so watch out. Who's our competition?
She is.
Braden. Yeah, Braden, Doom, and Dolby. Yeah, Mandy is a tough competition there for that reversal challenge.
She certainly is. Certainly is. So, Jay, you've been enjoying the Thunderdome, haven't you? That's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun, Hogue. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Those guys, props to Chad and Alfie for trading during that time. Alfie had a little tough day yesterday, kind of got on the wrong side of the markets and tried to right the ship. I think he's still, only down $25 on the week. So he has some ground to make up going into today. Chad just has to play defense, but they both did, I think, an amazing job. I said it's my new favorite segment on Top Step TV for sure, and I can't wait to see who's in it next week.
It's been a lot of fun to watch, and they're both good traders. If I were the one in the lead, I would not play to not lose. I would play
Okay.
to look for the right trade. I've seen the Chicago Bears go into the locker room at halftime with a decent lead, and then they come back out. They play not to lose, so
Mhm.
they end up losing. So
Yeah. Good point.
take your trades, take the good trades, and let the chips fall where they may. It's been a lot of fun. Alfie and Chad have been I think they've been having a lot of fun with it. It's always nice to be trading well, especially on screen. But been
Yeah.
really good sports, and anything can happen. You never know what's going to happen today, right, Jay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Alfie's not going down
So
without a
Jay,
fight. I know that.
we're going to see you at 11 o'clock, but I want to ask you if you have any closing comments for our traders today. It's Friday, capital preservation. What would you tell everybody today?
As always, trade well, manage your risk, wait for the market to present opportunities to you. Hogue, you said it to Baron earlier this week. Demand good trade location. That's what I'm thinking going into this week. I'm not going to rush into anything. Oh, going into the end of the week, not going to rush anything. Don't want to ruin a good week going into the weekend and having to think about any poor decisions that I made. Whether you're up or down on the week, understand that next week is another opportunity. We can start it up again. So I'll see you all for the Thunderdome. And if you haven't done so already, hit the thumbs up button, like and subscribe. Tell your friends and family too as well. Thanks for joining us this morning, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, JD. Thank you to everybody on the production team. It is a big team that brings this to you folks every day. And it's something we really love to do, and we love to have you with us all. And I would like to go over the early birds in the chat. And Rich Quaz was the first one in the room. Rich, you win the prize, and there is no prize. Shubham, Alex P.A., Gil Rumor, Gorillionaire, Dozer, Logan, among the tops, the early birds here in the chat. August 8th, 8/8. There's always things like dates and things that kind of pop into your mind whenever you get to that day. And for 100 years, there were no night games at Wrigley Field where the Cubs play. The first night game, when they finally got the neighborhood to agree to have night games, was 8/8/88. I didn't go to the game. I was busy working as a bartender, not too far from the field. My brother and his wife were there, and the first night game at Wrigley Field. Hard to believe it was 1988 before they actually put lights up there. All right. Apparently, it looks like we have been stopped out of that last gold contract. So my lennying of the previous one is now validated. So I don't feel bad about that. But still, profitable trade. We are still short crude oil. $64 are getting a little bit against us here. Just right up against the opening range high. We've got the risk at 64.30. So you can watch yourself and see if we get stopped out, see if we just get that little sweep above that 5-minute opening range, and the market may come back down and continue. I'm more of a fan of like thinking longs in crude oil today, but hey, what the hell do I know? And we're going to see how this plays out. Just came out and got us on that gold, at the last gold contract. But again, still up money. Happy Friday, everybody. Capital Preservation Friday. First night game at Wrigley Field. Who really cares about that? It's just one of those things, when you get a date and it sticks in the back of your head, and when you see that date, that just pops up. Big deal here in Chicago, but you know what else is a big deal? We've got fast markets coming up, folks, and that is coming at you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go get them.
Dun 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 dun. Good morning, ChatGPT. Write me 8 hours of financial content in the style of Andre McHugh. This is Top Step TV.
This is Fast Markets. We got a great one today. The Godfather Hogue is here. SLC Punk, Mandy, and new to Fast. I think this is your first Fast Markets for Dan S, who I believe was number 15 on the big board. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. Really happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're just a few minutes away, 3 minutes to be exact, from starting this day at the bell. Mandy, let's see if the mic is working and what we got to trade.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Fresh XFAs on deck.
Nice.
And yeah, we're excited to see what we can do. Um, yeah, I'm looking for possible continuation down to 500s and see if we can bounce there again. We don't really have anything too much on the docket here for
Yeah,
US. So very interested to see what's going to happen today. No news, good news. Do we grind higher? Or is it going to be a chop fest? I don't know. It's hard for me to have short sentiment with just, let's talk about the last few months. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. So I usually my normal typical morning is to not jump in immediately when the market opens. Just kind of get all the morning jitters out from all those that are entering the market, and then let the market make a decision, and then I will play along with that. So usually hands off at least the first 15 minutes, but I'll let you guys know if I see anything intriguing and kind of go from there.
Awesome.
thank you, Mandy. And Dan, as an introduction to these folks here, what products are you going to be looking at today?
Well, Jack, first of all, thanks so much for having me. It's really exciting to be back here on Top Step TV. I typically trade NQ. I really agree with what Mandy said about her approach on Fridays and, not jumping in too quick. I'm not a big fan of trading on Fridays in general, and especially around New York Open on a day like this. I think right now the market really looks like it could go either way. We're above some of the big levels that I've been watching on ES all week, and significantly above those levels. I've been kind of watching right around where we had that failed breakdown last night, like 6333 on ES. And I typically, I trade NQ, but I trade it off levels that I'm watching on ES. And so way up here, yeah, I really think we could go in either direction. And I just want to play it safe and let the market open and see if we pick a direction here.
Great. Perfect timing. We're about 10 seconds from the open right now. As Mandy mentioned, very little news today. Canadian unemployment was this morning. We got Trump meeting with the Armenian Prime Minister this afternoon. So who knows what that could do. Here's the bell. Opening price 63.84 about in the ES. Pushing a little higher off the open. Hogue, great job with the opening call. We'll let you break down
Thank
what
you.
happens once we close out this first minute here. But yeah, a little bit of buying pressure off the bat. Mandy, you mentioned you're being patient as well. How much time do you
Yeah,
usually
I
wait
mean,
after the opening bell?
up to about 15 minutes usually before I enter in my first trade. Um, I mean, I could see us keep running here up until 581s. See if that is going to be a nice resistance level. Could see us chopping along here in this, what would that be? 80 point range, 73 point range here. Um, since yeah, about yesterday. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We had a lot of movement yesterday. I am gonna be honest. I tried to buy the freaking dip, man. That really screwed me over. So,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. So yeah, I'm excited.
Mm.
I've got a fresh XFA. It'll be good, and we'll just snipe away here, which is what I like to do. Not more than 10 usually at a time. So
Oh, yesterday was definitely a painful experience for dip buyers. It was just the methodic selling and then a huge bounce, but you had to wait to 1 p.m. for some reason to get it. We got 1 minute in the books
exactly.
here. Hogue, anything you're seeing on this open of interest?
Nasdaq took out the 1 minute opening range to the upside, but it's right up against that weekly kickoff high 23,572. We had an 80 point range last night. Overnight range was 80 points. That's pretty small. We are in essence largely inside of value from yesterday and right in the middle of the range from yesterday. So the idea of me remaining patient is very appealing to me today, and I know that Mandy and Dan have already said, you know what, we're going to be patient. We're going to look for better trade location as the day goes on. And I completely agree with that. You know, we're going to probably find better trade locations sometime after the open, after the first 15 minutes, maybe even after the initial balance gets established. Looking at
Yeah.
the S&Ps, we've got, the market right in the middle of the range from yesterday with no overnight inventory, kind of rejecting value from yesterday, a little bit in the Nasdaq as well, but very narrow overnight range in the S&Ps as well. I think my main focus for the first half hour here is going to be to see if we sweep the overnight low or the overnight high in either of these markets, and see if we kind of sweep it and come back in. That might offer an opportunity in the opposite direction. But again, going to be staying pretty patient here.
Only about a 20-point range overnight in the ES. We were bumping near the high of